I'm so sick of the fake random speculation. For example, the C8 prices are crashing down. It's so bad. Sell it now. They're going down. Z06 Top Speed is almost the same as a Ford GT. What? What? That's not the top speed. You know what top speed is? I'll tell you in this video. I'll tell you what the actual facts are to that matter in this video, because a lot of science and engineering that goes behind a top speed, and it's not as simplistic as putting on your Hawaiian t-shirt like what I'm doing right now, because I want to have a little bit of a Hawaiian vibe right now. We're going to go into it in this video. So what am I talking about? Well, if you haven't seen already in the news headlines, we've been seeing talks of the Z06 Top Speed being like, I think 208 miles an hour, if I read correctly from one website. That's fast. That's as fast as like a 48 Pista. That's almost as fast as a Ford GT, right? And the Ford GT in comparison is a very unique vehicle because instead of it being constructed with solid mounted aerodynamic features, or in other words, fixed aero, the Ford GT is engineered from the ground up with active aero, so that when you go fast for a corner, the wing shoots up, giving you downforce. You go to a straightaway, the wing lowers, and with the wing being lowered in its aerodynamic neutral position, and combining that with the beautiful soft body lines, especially with the huge air exit vents, right, where the flying buttresses are, it produces really, really clean aero. And that clean aero enables the Ford GT to go so fast down the straight line. When you look at the way the Z06 is engineered, yeah, it's got more horsepower. That's a good thing. But it does weigh more, that's another. However, the biggest effect for top speed is not going to be necessarily the weight of the vehicle, because we've seen the Chiron go 300 miles an hour, right? And that weighs a lot, way more than the Z06. The thing about it is that the drag that you have is the ultimate, let's say a dictator of top speed, that and your gearing. What am I trying to say? If you look at a similar vehicle in terms of its fixed aero designs, we have the 2020 and up GT500s with the track pack, the carbon fiber track pack. And that vehicle's engineered so that the big GT4 spoiler, you could lower it, right, for a straight line position for faster quarter miles, or if you're going on a racetrack where you want to loosen up the tail end, you can lower that spoiler and have faster accelerations. Now, in comparison to the Z06 also has a big rear spoiler, but you can't actually adjust it. So at all times, your Z06 rear end essentially is going to be in max downforce mode, which is, it's good. That's not bad. It's a good thing, because you got to consider what the car is focused on trying to achieve. It's a track car. Chevrolet has already said the Z06 is their ultimate track car. That's just the fact of the matter. We're going to see top speed for vehicles like the ZR1 or the Zora, if they're making that one. What do you think about the E-Ray? Will the E-Ray be faster? I'd love to find out. The point of what I'm trying to say is that don't expect the Z06 to be a top speed vehicle. The fact of the matter is right now, Chevrolet has not announced anything. I've gotten confirmation on that myself, and it is something that I think we would see probably very shortly, very soon, because the car has to be coming out within the next handful of months. They said order banks would open up spring, and same with pricing, I believe. And it's already almost to the end of spring. Spring ends towards the middle of June. And then after that, what else would happen? Come on, they got to give us something. Top speed is one of those statistics, those figures that everyone just loves to gawk over. They love to see and brag to their friends going, hey, my car is faster than you. I've got a top speed of 200 miles an hour versus your 184. Or you can walk up to a BMW owner and go, I can go 200 miles an hour, 50 miles per hour faster than your $100,000 BMW M3, which is speed limited to about 160, 150. No hard feelings from my BMW friends. I had to go there because top speed is one of those interesting things where will you ever go that fast? No. Will you hit 200 miles an hour on the street? No, you should not. Also, it's just like when Ford announced and revealed the 2013 GT500, where they were telling the whole world how they built a 200 plus mile per hour Ford Mustang. Did anyone really ever achieve that? No, no. It's just something good that enthusiasts want to hear about and see. I hold no blame to anyone who wants a high top speed. I want it to. The biggest thing I'm trying to convey in this video is, yes, A, it's not announced yet. However, B, since this is a track car first, there is something that is very important to cover when it comes to the track car formula. The track car formula, how does it work? Well, a key prime example is the McLaren Senna, this huge spoiler that can move, this crazy front aero design with a massive front splitter. It's designed for maximum downforce. Downforce lets you corner faster and faster, and if you have way more downforce, your lap times can drop seconds and seconds and seconds. It's why when you look at a GT class race, like a GT4 class race, or an IMSA race, you'll see how the Corvette C8R can do a mid to low 120 at Laguna Seca. No, it's not because of the horsepower. The horsepower helps, yeah, 500 horsepower helps, but it's able to achieve that time because of the tire compound with the suspension and, most importantly, the downforce. Huge equalizer on the racetrack, I think, for cornering grip, and that's why time attack cars have these massive big spoilers and big splitters. Same with the time attack Model S Plaid that Tesla revealed, right? And they took it on to Laguna Seca and they put like a 129 lap time down. That, if you look at photos of that vehicle, how did it do it? Well, it was a big spoiler and the big front splitter. That gets you faster on the racetrack. The more downforce you have as well, it inspires driver confidence, whereas you can take corners harder and harder and the vehicle is more stable, has more stability. Now, when you go to a straight line, you go to the half mile or a full mile race and you use your 1,000 horsepower, but you still have all that aerodynamics, you're not gonna reach nowhere near the top speed that you would if you had maybe even less horsepower and no aero at all. The best way to picture it is to picture scales. On one end of the spectrum, you have straight line acceleration like the Bugatti Chiron. This side, you've got quarter and grip like a GT3 RS. What happens when you increase, well, you lower drag, you increase top speed, right? You go faster and faster. Also, if you raise horsepower, this goes up. But if you want to corner faster, you want to have a nice balance of top speed and cornering grip. The more aero you got, the lower your top speed will get, and the faster your peak speed will be in corners. It's very interesting stuff. You should really look up online like wind tunnels and how they engineer vehicles, because there's a lot to it. And it doesn't end there, it doesn't end at aero. You've got to consider the way the vehicle is engineered with the suspension and also the tire compound. Tire compound is an instrumental factor which enables these vehicles to hit their top speeds. If you don't have the right tire, you can't go that fast. Your car is only able to go as fast as the current tire you have on it. And when manufacturers build these new vehicles, they partner with the tire makers like Michelin or Goodyear to create a tire that ties in perfectly with the suspension, also the computer systems, the software. Everything is perfectly tuned in and dialed so that it all works in harmony. For example, looking at Michelin, on the sides of the tires, you're familiar with like the weight and speed ratings, right? So Y indicates a top speed of 186 miles an hour, and then a parentheses around that Y is north of 186 miles an hour. Sometimes what we see with manufacturers is that they maximize the softness of the compound to enable good cornering grip, and not so much the top speed, because the top speed, you got to realize that the structure has to be able to survive the exponential increase in weight of spinning faster and faster and faster, going faster and faster with miles per hour, and then adding on to the weight of the vehicle with downforce, increasing that over time. There's so much force, which is why going faster than like 300 miles an hour with what Bugatti did, right? It's almost unfeasible because of current technology. It's just unsafe. They did that run and they stopped it. They did like a few back-to-back going each way, but like I think they even stated that they don't want to go faster than that. Same with Koenigsegg. What Ford did with their GT500 is that they engineered it so that they got a balance of acceleration with the gearing out of corners. Also, they found a good top speed that you wouldn't really hit on a track that is 180 miles an hour, and they know that top speed works perfectly with their aero of the GT4 rear spoiler and increased front downforce, so that the tires are able to safely and comfortably work. We see this a lot. Sometimes the fastest tires out there can't go that fast for top speed because they're engineered for the softness, the stickiness, to put down that rubber and corner and hook. When you go top speed again, it's a whole different animal, which is why looking at the Z06 in conjunction with its downforce, I don't see it going to the Ford GT's top speed. It just doesn't make sense. Yes, it's got more power. It's engineered specifically as a track day, go hard Corvette. And if you want the top speed variant, obviously you got to go with the standard Z06 without any of the extra downforce. And you got to make sure not to put on the extra upgraded pieces for grip. Underneath the body of the vehicle, you'll see these veins that go from the middle, from underneath, and they kind of sway out like this. This actually produces like a suction, whereas it's sucking the car down, giving you more downforce. You don't want that extra drag for top speed. Look at Tesla, the Plaid. That vehicle is like putting your hand outside the window flat. It's all about minimizing the drag, having clean, neutral airflow going straight through the air. So as you know, putting your hand outside the window like this, do you feel much resistance? No, it feels pretty good. Now imagine if you had downforce. So angle your hand this way, kind of on an angle. You'll feel the downforce pushing your car down or your hand down. And obviously that extra wind force is gonna lower your top speed. Keep that in mind. So keep that in mind when it comes to top speed. It's a balancing act in terms of horsepower, gearing, tire compound, aerodynamics with the drag, how slippery the body is. There's so much to it, and with the current framework of the Z06, this is a track car. I wouldn't be surprised to hear that they limited the top speed to 180 miles an hour like Ford because of the almost 800 pounds of downforce that you get at 186 miles an hour. That's a lot. Oh, that's another thing. Let's look up tire compounds and top speeds real quick. Let's check out the Porsche GT2 RS because that's got the same style tires as Z06. Let's do that. And here we have it, the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R for the GT2 RS, that being at 265 by 3520 and then 325 30 by 21, so skinnier tires, more skinny tires than the Z06. Out the door, oh my gosh, $780 per tire almost for the fronts and $900 per tire for the rears. That's a lot of money, and these are skinnier tires than the Z06. Oh my gosh, so out the door, $3,400. I wonder if the Z06 tires will be more since they are larger. That's kind of scary. Hopefully they're not. Hopefully they're not. Anyways, the model designation is 99Y for the front. This indicates a top speed of 186 plus, like we mentioned, and it's got a load index of 1,700 pounds. That equalizes, doesn't it, with the downforce? Now 108Y, whoa, so 2,200 pounds per tire the rating is at. And the top speed again is Y, so it's 186 plus. In comparison to the Z06, the load index is 97Y. This is so much because Porsches like these are rear engine. The engine is essentially putting majority of its weight on the very back. Add in the downforce, and then you've got that huge combination of 2,200 pounds per tire, which is like 4,400 pounds altogether. And then adding in the downforce, yeah, that is crazy. The summary of the matter is that the tires on the Z06 will tell us everything. Stay tuned, the car is coming out soon. Don't believe any of the crazy speculation out there because a lot of it is just there for hits. We can get more into that later. I just want to leave you with this. This is a track car first, it's not a top speed vehicle. A track car has a special formula to it. It's a balance of the cornering grip they want to achieve with how soft and sticky they want their tires to be. Also add on to that your aero with your downforce and drag, then your horsepower, and then your weight with the gearing last. So throw all that together, and what do you think is a possible top speed for this vehicle, keeping that in mind? I would love to hear what all of you have to say in the comment section down below. So I had to make this video because I'll be out of town for the next few days shooting on the road, hashtag road trip, right? Should be a ton of fun. No, that's not why I'm wearing a Hawaiian t-shirt. I'm going north to the racetrack and we're gonna be reviewing a ton of awesome cars. Stay tuned for that, should be a ton of fun. Make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Also subscribe for much more great content coming out your way. I'll see all of you in the next episode.